guys, and welcome back to Love What Luck. I'm Sadie, as you know, your host who is like checking yourself tonight, you know, right? You know, I pride myself on being like a strong, independent woman and all that. Well, I've been filming today, Matt's been in work all day. And oh my god, I think it's one of the first days I'm like, actually feel like, oh, it pains me to even say it, but I've actually like needed him here. Firstly, I went shopping and I had to carry 2 heavy bags like so far. I mean, to be fair, I can deal with that because I've had to do that the whole time. So at the time I wasn't thinking, oh my god, I wish Matt was here. But now that I'm just like recapping the day, I'm thinking, yeah, it would have been nice. Anyway, bought stuff for my dinner, came back, couldn't open the bloody jar, could I? Took me an age. I was absolutely starving. Couldn't open the jar for Hita sauce. That was the first thing. The second thing, which is super annoying, is that he hung my jumpsuit up to dry and he's like, God knows how much taller than me. I can't reach the hanger to get it back down. I couldn't reach the jumpsuit, but after like my 4th or 5th attempt, I managed to like get the jumpsuit off the hanger. But yeah, the hanger's still stuck up on the blind, of all places. But to top it off, and this is the one that's got me the most, I put a dress on, I can't do it up. I cannot do it up. The zip goes all the way right up to the top of my back. I cannot do it. And I remember having this problem before a night out, and I literally had to use a hanger. I got a hanger, this is like when I was living in Hammersmith years ago. I got a hanger to pull through the zip and pull it up. So like where there's a will, there's a way, but this zip isn't that type of zip. A hanger wouldn't even clip on it. Like my arms are aching, I was deeply uncomfortable. So now I'm just sat in a dress that doesn't do up, and I'm like, do you know what, I just need him to come home and just like, well at this point, do my dress up and get a hanger down, because to be fair, I have done everything else. But oh my god, what an annoying feeling. Like, I think it's more so because I've like got used to somebody being around all the time. Yeah, and today I was like, oh, my life would be so much easier if he was here today, and I didn't like the feeling. And now I've decided to open up this episode with the negative vibes. But yeah, it's just not a nice feeling, is it, when like you feel like you kind of need someone. I don't like it. Anyway, I'll try not to moan. I'm sure you listen to this and be fuming. But I'm just going to continue with my dress undone. Nobody even needs to know. Nobody can even tell if you're watching this on YouTube. You know, you can't tell my dress is undone. But I've told you anyway because it's bothering me. Yeah, and I know it's undone. But never mind. I literally think that's my only bit of news. Like, your gal's just living like a really quiet, content life these days. Minus like the really drunk, heavy, like last 2 weekends. I'm just smooth sailing here. There's nothing really to report. So this week, if you follow the Love What Luck Insta, well, I wasn't doing this week. I was going to say this week I'm talking about first dates, do's and don'ts, because if you follow the Instagram, I put some on the polls, as I do, and lots of people got involved with them. Most of them like agreed with me, like the results, like everything that I was thinking would be a no-no. Most of them were the same, but some of them were like tied. So I just thought I'm gonna like run through some of them, some of the ones that I've done on the Insta that were like close. And then I found some more, so I thought I could just like run through them on here, because let's face it, like a first date these days, I don't know, I'm speaking for myself here, right, and like when I came back up, but a first date for me these days at this age is a big deal. And I'm like shocked those words even coming out my mouth, because I love to date. Like, I will go on multiple dates. Like, I used to love it. I mean, to be fair, maybe it's not my age, maybe because I'm actually in a relationship and I can't imagine myself single. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like now lots of people, or at least lots of the girls I speak to, like, for them to go on a first date with somebody, it needs to be like feeling they're worth it. And I feel like nobody wants to waste their time. So going on a date and then it not going well, a first date, feels like a waste of time. And as much as I'm like, there's no pressure on a first date, and I never think there should be, there just is, isn't it? Like, if you go on a first date, it's just those first impressions, and I think, like, because you haven't got a relationship with somebody, especially if you've just met them, like, once before, or if you've just, like, met them on a dating app, you've got no relationship, so it's, like, literally first impressions count, and if, like, something fucks up, then that's it. You'll never see the person again. Isn't that, like, scary and like, wild? How, like, imagine, like, I'm sure I've said the story before, I must have, but, like, when I went on the date and I was like, oh my god, it was my best and worst date, and I, after it, was like, I'm not gonna see this guy again, like, no, and I would never ever have messaged him, but then he messaged me and, like, made me laugh, and anyway, eventually we got together and he became, like, my boyfriend, and I just think, like, how crazy. If it was up to me after that first date, probably wouldn't have seen him again. Like, how many times does that happen where you could cut somebody off where actually it could work? Also, my last ex, actually, I feel like I kind of made a move on him first, and then it just, like, went quiet for ages. So, I mean, it's not really the same, but, like, it went quiet for ages until, like, a month later, or I might as well tell you what happened. I can't remember if I've said this before, but we worked together and we did, like, a little jokey kiss in the photo booth, and then he, like, a month or 6 to 8 weeks later, the company released the pictures of the photo booth from the Christmas party. Like, why would they do that, please? Like, is that even allowed? Like, given GDPR, I didn't even say that properly, but come on, like, privacy. I remember seeing pictures of one girl, like, she'd fallen, she was in the photo booth by herself, and I think she must have fallen, because, like, in the first 3 she's in them, and then in, like, or in the last 1 or 2 she, like, gets lower and lower, and then she's gone. Like, me and my ex, just, you know, work colleagues, having, like, a little bit of flirty banter in the photo booth, never to be spoken of again, until, like, a month later, or however long later, the whole office or the pictures, I was mortified. Anyway, I feel like that was me making my move in the Christmas party, and then it went quiet until that happened. I feel like that was unnecessary information, but it's not really, because my point is, once again, if that had been, like, a first date or whatever, we wouldn't have seen each other again. So, like, they are very important, those first impressions, aren't they? I mean, both those stories ended in breakups, so maybe we shouldn't have seen each other again, and that's what the universe wanted, but hey-ho, never mind. Okay, I'm gonna start. So this was the first one that I thought of, actually, because this one would be, like, a strong never see you again. The date is nice to you, but rude to the waiter. Like, for me, manners, absolutely everything. Like, I remember this guy before messaging me, trying to get me on a date for ages, and being like, what do you look for in a guy? And I was like, look for somebody polite. And he was like, yeah, but anybody can be polite, what else? And I was like, no, polite is actually my #1 thing, because not everyone has nice manners, and not everyone is polite, and it means everything. And I also think it says a lot about a person's character. Like, they need to be kind. Like, if somebody's polite, I think it means they're kind and considerate. Like, if somebody's rude to the waiter, red flag. And I'm pleased to report that pretty much everybody agreed with that. More split was they 30 minutes plus late. This one I did feel quite personally victimised by, because I have been 30 minutes late for a date, but if I'd been left waiting 30 minutes for somebody, probably would have been pissed off. So it is like pot calling the kettle black. Not I even fully understand what that saying is, but it is a bit of that going on. But on the flip side, I would see somebody again if the reason was genuine. Like, if the reason was genuine and they were apologetic, I would see him again. But I also don't know if that's because I am just a late person, so, like, I just understand what it's like when time gets away from you. But, like, if I get to a date and then they're even later than me, collectively we're probably 30 to 45 minutes late, and that's not good, is it, for 2 people to be that late? The 2 guys that I've been on dates with that have kept me waiting, we didn't have a second date. wasn't because of that, but who knows? I just feel like sometimes, you know, the universe just like knows what's best for you. And it's like, these two people can't be together, otherwise they'll never get anywhere. Okay, they're on their phone loads. That was a unanimous, like, obviously don't see you again. And like, how rude is that? Do you know though? And I was gonna put this on the Instagram and I stopped myself because I was like, don't choose violence today. Matt will be like, might be annoyed, but given that given that he's not here to do my dress up, I'm gonna shame him. He took a phone call on our first date. It was work, so you know, I guess it's okay. I mean, it's okay because it's work and he like lives and breathes his job, but I mean, rude, no? I think it's rude. And I'm thinking like, my phone would be on do not disturb in my bag. Like, my friends be worried that I'm like getting kidnapped on this date because I'm on my phone that little, you know? So for somebody to have their phone out and answer the phone call, pretty rude. But yeah, I think it depends like on what the phone call is for, you know? Obviously if it's work or an emergency. Do you know, do you know when I was younger? Oh my god, me and my friend, we were both going out with these boys. I honestly can't even remember which boyfriend it was. You know, it's just like a young boyfriend that's like not proper. And we were like, the four of us were out. And we were like, oh my god, I just want to go home, do you? Yeah. What was the line we said now? We got my mother, I think, to ring me and say like that the goldfish had died or like something random like that. And I was like, oh, really sorry, yeah, my fish has died, yeah, we're gonna have to go in, sorry. Absolute lies. But yeah, if somebody gets a phone call like that, an emergency, well, one, they might be lying, so like, you know, have your wits about you, listen to your gut with that. But yeah, if it's an emergency, fair enough. But if they're just on their phone notes and texting and stuff, then that's rude. And then when I was thinking about that one, I was also thinking about like when people are on the Insta game on a date. Now, I love a bit of Insta, but on a date, like a first date, that's just like my no-go. Like I just wouldn't do it. Like I would just die. Like, and I remember like with Matt, I think it was a month before we'd gone out, and because like obviously in that first month of dating, we were going out all the time, like, you know, to bars or wherever, whereas like in normal circumstances, I mean, I don't take a picture every single place I go, but most places, if I order a drink or whatever, you know, it's like you check a little picture on Instagram. But I didn't do it with him for like a full month, and then I remember his niece and her boyfriend and his friends come in for, for a weekend, and we've been dating a month, and then like they were on their phones obviously just like taking pictures of where we were and stuff, and I thought, okay, I feel like this is a safe zone now. I can get my phone out and like it'll be socially acceptable. But yeah, it's just like something about that, innit? And then like even longer before, until I asked Matt, like, could you take pictures of me out? When we booked the holiday, I don't think he'd taken any, like I didn't ask him to take any pictures other than for my birthday, and it was pictures of us together. Like I wanted, you know, we were taking pictures together, and like selfies and stuff. I hadn't asked him like to take a picture, you know, like the outfit pic. Like gals and boyfriends of Instagram, you know that like the girl needs a picture in the outfit. But that is like a thing to do, I think. For me, anyway, for me, I just like feel quite embarrassed. Like some people don't care, but for me, I feel like a little bit embarrassed. So I remember we hadn't done it, and then after we booked Dubai, our first holiday, we were having like dinner somewhere, and this guy was taking a picture of his girlfriend at the table, and she was like proper posing, like she was like working it. She was holding her ponytail and she was getting those shots, you know, those fire shots, and Matt was like, never ask me to do that. And I was like, well actually, when we go to Dubai on holidays, I was like, I will be asking you to take pictures of me because I'll be on holidays. I was like, I can live with not having a picture of me on a Sunday afternoon in London, that's fine. But when I'm on holidays and I'm in a nice restaurant, best believe I want a picture taken. He's like, okay, but not loads, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, that's like when it starts. And I think actually on holidays he was fine. One night I did like leave my phone. I was like, I'm not gonna ask you to take a picture of me this night. And then I just like left my phone and we went down to dinner without anything, which was really, really nice actually. But yeah, now he does, like I still don't ask him that much, but yeah, I feel like that's a big deal. And I remember going to Dubai to see this guy that I dated and thinking, oh my god, like I'm not comfy enough with him to ask him to take photos of me. But it was my first time in Dubai, so I like wanted pictures. So I didn't ask him to take any, and I just like took one in the toilet, just like a little mirror selfie on the first night. And then I remember like coming out wherever and it was all fine, and then I think I put like food ones on, like that was okay. And then at the end of the night, like we were both a bit tipsy, he was like, stand there, oh my god, stand there and have a picture, because the restaurant was really nice with flowers. And I was like, oh, okay, like I'd had a drink, so I'd had like Dutch courage. I was like, okay, I see, he's actually encouraging me to take photos, like this is amazing. So he's like, yeah, lovely. And then as the trip progressed, I realized it was like a swap for swap. So it was like, he would take a picture of me and then I would take a picture of him, and like vice versa, you know. I'd be like, oh my god, that's a really nice background. And then I'd take a picture of him and then I'd be like, actually, can I have one? So it obviously depends on the person, because I wasn't like embarrassed. And I think it actually works well if the guy is into it to a certain degree. Like if I also had to take pictures of Matt every time, then it might take a little bit longer. Like I kind of prefer that he's not a big Instagrammer. Like I just prefer that. But then it also means, because he's not an Instagrammer, that he like doesn't understand that, like, I don't know why, but you just want a picture of yourself in a dress on a night out, do you know what I mean? Anyway, wow, that went deep, didn't it, on the pictures? I went way off track there. But yeah, first date, I'm saying no. If I was on a first date with a guy, and he was like, I can handle food pictures, I can handle that. But if it was like, I don't know, he was like proper on the Insta game, like with the selfies and trying to get me, oh my god, I've had that before. Can't believe I'm only just saying this. I have had a first date, I think I've had two, but I can only remember one, but I know I've had two, where they tried to get me in the picture. Like, hon, no, do not get me in that picture on a first date. Like, where's that photo going? I want no part in it. I don't want to be on your Snapchat story. Absolutely not. No thank you. Drop me right out. For me, that is, it seems this is touching a nerve. That's my ultimate no. That's like, absolutely not. Like, I can handle them taking food pictures, them taking selfies and like narrating the whole night, not so much, because that also just means that they're on their phone loads, so it's not very nice. But to get me involved in the picture as well on that first date, and I don't know you, no, I'm done, goodbye. Yeah, most of them agreed, although the Insta game one was split. 54% said bye, 46% said see them again. So I think the 46% that see them again are also the ones that want to be narrating a night. Like, that's gotta be what it comes down to, isn't it? Like, if you want Instagram the whole night, you're gonna want somebody that's on board with it. If you don't want that, then it's gonna bug you. So do you know what? This is why there's just somebody out there for everyone, guys, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Some people just vibe and some people don't, but there's always somebody that will match your vibe and your level. I think that's nice. Another strong one was if they don't make me laugh, which weirdly, I would see somebody again if they didn't make me laugh, but like I can't ever imagine being in a relationship with them. So I think that depends on like what your goal is when you're going out on a date, you know what I mean? If you're just dating someone and it's just a bit of fun, I would see them again. But could I be in a relationship with somebody that doesn't make me laugh? No. Can anybody? No. Another interesting one I thought was if they swear a lot, then bye. And that was quite unanimous. That was 60% said bye and 38% said see them again. Like, on paper, I'm like, I don't like swearing. I don't swear much. but actually I do swear quite a lot. Well, I wouldn't say quite a lot, but like you'll know on the podcast like that sometimes I do swear. So yeah, I'm not overly offended if somebody swears, but I like draw the line at the C word on a first date, you know what I mean? The C bombs are no from me. So yeah, then I looked into like proper top 5 worst ones, like which we've covered them. Being rude to the waiter, checking your phone, having bad breath or body odor. I mean, I don't think that's just a first date, no, I think that's just like a life, no. Like, ain't nobody want that around them. Getting too drunk. And it says here, 1 or 2 drinks on a first date is fine, but don't rely on drinking alcohol to loosen up or for liquid courage. It will only end badly. Being drunk is definitely not attractive or funny. Don't feel pressure to match your date with every drink they have. Pace yourself and drink lots of water. I mean, I've definitely got absolutely steaming on first dates, and I've definitely matched the date on everything that they're drinking. I think it depends if the other person feels drunk. Like, I've definitely had that anxiety the next day where I've woken up after a first date and been like, oh my god, I got too drunk, I regret it. And actually when I went on this date with Matt, that was a thing. When he gave me like the 3 choices, one of them was just cocktails all afternoon. And I remember thinking, I don't want to do that because it means I'm going to get steaming. I'm going to like you regardless, probably. I'm not going to remember. And if I like you and you were not that drunk, the next day I'm going to have anxiety thinking that I got too drunk and I've like said something embarrassing, just didn't want it. So that's actually why I opted for the walk. I have not told him this. That's why. And then we still had cocktails, but like they were like more slower, and I was tipsy when I came in, which probably means I was drunk, but like it was okay. Would I care if a guy got too drunk with me? I mean, to be fair, that would never happen, because if they are drinking a lot, I'm for sure I'm matching them. So I'm never going to be in a situation where the guy is drunker than me on a date. It's just not on the cards for me, because I just cannot say no. Like, it is actually an issue. Okay, pushing to have sex at the end of the date. This was, I think, was quite split on the polls, and on here saying it's a top 5 one. I don't know. I think it depends. Like, I think for me, sometimes you kind of like, sorry ma'am if you're listening, just skip this part. If you want to sleep with somebody after the first date, but like, you think, oh no, I don't want to because it's the first date. And then I don't mind them being pushy, because I'm like, oh yeah, well I want to as well. I'm just not doing it because it's just first date, and that's just like, why I'm just not doing it because of that. But if it's like you're not vibing and somebody's being like a creep and somebody's being aggressive with it, and you're really like not on that vibe at all, then obviously you wouldn't see him again. I mean, somebody pushing to have sex at the end of the date is never okay, and I'm not condoning it, but I'm just picturing it in like, we're in the situations where people have said, oh, I'd see him again. I'm imagining it's because it's like when you're a bit more flirty and they're like, oh, come on, shall I? And then you're like, oh, I want to, but no. And then they go. I don't know. That's what I think. Although I do think it kind of you can't help but think that that tells you something, can you? Like, if somebody was like pushing loads and loads and loads on that first date, I would just be thinking, okay, you obviously just want this to be like a casual type of thing, you know? Also, what's our thoughts on not kissing on a first date? Because I think most first dates I've kissed, I don't know. But what do we think about that? Like, do we think not kissing on a first date is like a sign that they don't like you, or that you don't like them? Or is it a sign that like they really like you and they want to take things extra slow? Like, I'm actually really keen to know that. I'm going to put that on the polls, like, because I need to know everyone's thoughts on that. Okay, and then next up was like deal breakers that might be a bit more surprising. So taking selfies, we've covered. Not talking enough. So I actually asked this on the poll before seeing this, but this also confirms it. So 76% of UK singles would rather their date spoke too much on the first meeting. So those who think you need to be a good listener on a date can take a sigh of relief, chat away. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be overpowering if somebody's chatting away, but what's worse than being on a silent date and trying to drag a conversation out of somebody? Oh my god, absolute worst nightmare. No, thank you. Dating will end up being a bad kisser. Oh god, that is devastating, isn't it? Because you can never tell, you know. You can never tell whether somebody's a good kisser or not, I don't think. Somebody can look completely normal and just kiss like a big wet hoover. You just never know until it's too late. And then you're in it then. Like for me, I haven't got the balls to pull away. If I'm in it for a kiss and it's bad, I'm there and I'm just seeing it out and thinking in my head, this is never happening again. But yeah, that's very, very unfortunate. That also runs along Adele. Sorry, Adele's my mother. Mum, if you're listening, don't listen. It also goes back, and we've said it before the pod, but like, you know, girls, what I'm gonna say. If you go back to someone's place and, you know, they just know they haven't got a big thing, or maybe not that, but if they like very, very small or disappointing in that area, devastating. And again, you can never tell. You can never ever tell. All that shit about like somebody being short, somebody with their hands, all that stuff, no, you never know. I genuinely just think it's luck of the draw. Yeah. Oh, god, I feel like I could do a full episode on that. Like, what do you do in that situation? I would love to do that on the Insta polls, but I'd probably get banned, so I'm not going to. Okay, what other ones on it? Oh, this one was interesting. Adding your date on Facebook. You should wait before sending that friend request. Nearly 21% of UK singles would be put off on a second date with someone who immediately added them on social media. And I'm actually with them on this. I remember dating a guy before, and it was like, we were like dating, and he was like, you do realise how weird it is that we haven't got each other on Facebook? And I was like, I don't want you on Facebook ever, frankly. Please don't add me. I don't need to see it. What do I need to see you on Facebook for? Please, no. If I see something I don't like, something that could potentially give me the ick, or, you know, if I see something that, yeah, just that I don't like, then it can ruin it, when it doesn't need to be like that. You know, in person I like you, over text I like you. I think social media can be so, so dangerous. I do remember when Matt added me and we'd been dating, like, I think we'd gone on like 2 or 3 dates maybe, and I was like, oh no, it's time. I just don't like it right at the start. Like, I would rather wait until you're like dating properly to have each other on social media. But I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker, definitely not. I feel like especially in this day and age, people just add you on Instagram or wherever straight away, especially like on a Hinge dating app. Like, that's happened to my friends for sure. I think it's just quite normal. Although it never happened to me on Hinge, you know. Nobody that I was talking to added me on Instagram. I mean, it wasn't linked to anything, but my surname was on there. So, I don't know. I guess I'm giving off the vibes, please don't add me on Instagram. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. There's another one. This is just what some end advice. It says, should I stay or should I go? How to get out of a bad date. If I'm ever single again, I need to read this because I can never get myself off a date. Like, I think I said the story before where, like, I was on a date, I knew it wasn't going anywhere, but I still stayed out to him until 3 AM. I actually went for dinner with my friend the other night, and we were talking about, and she's like, oh my god, no, if I'm on a bad date, she's like, I would never leave midway, but I'm more thinking straight away at the end of the date, I'm going out. She's like, I haven't got time for that. And I'm like, oh my god, like, I envy you and that power, because I genuinely, it would like pain me. I would have to lie. I would literally have to be like, sorry, I have to go. Maybe if I'm ever single again, I'll have to say at the start, like, oh, I've just got to meet my friend at 9. And then if 9 o'clock comes and I'm having a good time, then I can leave it. Matt, if you're listening, obviously I never want to be single again. I'm just saying, you know. Yes, and this article says Brits are most likely to come up with an excuse rather than be honest about why they are leaving. Of course we are, because none of us have balls, and the Brits are always like too polite, and that's what we're renowned for. And it says the most common way singles ditch a bad date is to say they had an early morning meeting. So there you have it. If you're on a date and you suggest to go for drinks and the person says, I can't, I have an early morning meeting, chances are they don't like you. You do it first. And on the flip side, if you want to get out for a date, say you've got an early morning meeting, and pray the person you're dating doesn't listen to Love What Luck. And on that note, I hope you all have good first dates. Please just come and tell me. If you're going on a first date, I would love nothing more than for you to come and tell me what it's like at Love What Luck or at Sadie Maltby. Or even TikTok now. The TikTok is linked. I need to get onto YouTube. I realise like YouTube's just really not my thing, but I'm really going to try to get on there as well. And yeah, come and chat to me as always, give me a follow, and please follow me on Spotify, and if you can leave me a review, it really helps to get the podcast out. So yeah, I hope you all had a good one, and I'll speak to you next week. Thank you, bye.